everybody, this is Peggy, and tonight I'm going to be doing a video for MayArts Ribbon, and my goal is to show you 7 different ways to use their awesome ribbon. The first technique I want to show you is how to do this knot. It's called the Naomi knot. Look at the inside of that card. Is that like too cool? What's really nice is your ribbon doesn't go floating off your card. So let me show you some of the things I'm going to use to create this card. First of all, I picked the paper from Die Cuts with a View, the Blossom Butterflies. Just got it at a local hobby store. So we're going to do that. I'm going to use Memento ink. Memento ink is one of my all-time favorite inks because it dries quickly and I can use it with markers and pencils so I can kind of watercolor with it and it doesn't bleed. Then I'm going to bring in my Big Mouth punch. It's my hole punch. And this is the way I store my ribbon. These are the 3 different ribbons that we are going to be using tonight. And for the numbers, they are 373, 5823. That's your hot pink. The 3, and that's the one we're actually using. They have other colors. We're not going to use that on this one. But I will tell you that this one here is the same 3 numbers, 373, 5804, and the cream is 373, 5809. But for this particular project, we're going to be using this hot pink. Isn't that so cool? This is just an old spindle I got at a flea market, and that's how I store mine. So we're going to use that. The tools that I use, I love my Tim Holtz scissors. I'm going to use some Martha Stewart punches. I'm going to use the Marvy scalloped oval. And then I'm going to use some stamps that I got from Heartfelt Creations. These are some of their different sentiments. We're going to use those. And I adhere all my cards. I love, love, love my big ATG gun. So we're going to use that. Well, let me clear some things off and we'll get started. Now I've gone ahead and assembled the card with the cardstock the way that I wanted. I embellished it up here doing the Cuttlebug. Now let's make that Naomi knot. You're going to use your hole punch, and I'm using the biggest hole in the back. And the key is figure out where do you want that knot. I want my knot right about there, so that's where I want my hole. So I'm going to poke a hole, and actually I'm going to poke 2 because this ribbon is a little bit thicker. Any hole punch will work. I like that one because it'll go anywhere. So there's my hole right there. Now let me bring in the ribbon. Now the first thing you want to do is to put your ribbon so that the ends meet, and we're going to take the ends up through the inside of the card to the front. So you just simply put it through there, like so. Then you're going to open up your ribbon, so I might have pulled it a little bit too far, because now all I want to do is slide my ribbon over the front of my card, like so, and then start pulling my ribbon and getting it where I want. Now let's check the inside. You can see how this twisted just a little bit, and that's when you're going to take the time to go back and fix that so that you get a nice inside of your card as well. So we'll get that nice and straight. Doesn't that look great? And then you put one underneath on one side of your strip, one on the other, and we tie a knot. And then you just simply cut it off where you like. And there is your Naomi knot. Ta-da! Right there. Okay, then all you're going to do is to go and stamp your little verse right there, put it there. Let me bring the card back in. So then you can add your sentiment, cut yourself a few little butterflies with your punches, and embellish your card, and voila, you've got a card. And that's called the Naomi knot. Technique number 2. Let me show you how to make a perfect bow using the MayArts ribbon. This one is 373, 5804. Isn't that a beautiful color? We're going to use this nice little tool called a Bow Easy. This is the greatest little thing. Makes 7 different size bows, and it's perfect every time. You simply wrap your ribbon around there, come up and catch it with your thumb. You take the end of your ribbon, thread it through the top. Whoop, I drop it every time. There we go. Get that nice and straight, and then you want to make sure that you keep your ribbon going the same direction. So we're going to come out and around over top of your thumb is how I tell everybody. Back through your hole. Pull it. Give it a little tug. Run it back through the top again, just so that your ribbon's on the same side for your tail. Slide it off, and you have yourself a perfect bow. And there you go. Isn't that awesome? It's perfect every time. This is technique number 3. Let me show you how easy it is to stamp on your MayArt ribbon. This particular one is SX0T, and it's a 3/8 inch ribbon. All I'm going to do is to cut my piece of ribbon. I'm going to use Stays On ink. And you want to always make sure you keep your little plastic cover on your Stays On ink so it doesn't dry out on you. I'm going to stamp this up, make sure I get it good and inked up there. Stays On will go on any surface, pretty much any surface. Now, what I normally would do is to tape the ends down, but for this one I think I'll be fine. You're just going to go in there, press down, and pull it off. And there, I'll show you on this one, it's a little bit darker. You can see how cool that is to just stamp right on your ribbon. So that's technique number 3. And here's another way to use your ribbon. How many times do we have to cut off the end of our ribbon and we have little hunks left? Look what I did with mine. Let me show you how I did that. There's a new thing out there by Cosmo Cricut, and it's called gloobers. They're round circles that are adhesive. So all you do is peel that off. This is so simple, you guys are going to laugh. You start sticking your ribbon on there, however you want, like so. And you just go all the way around until you get it where you like it, like I did there. And I didn't add white on this one. I'm going to go back and see if I can. You finish it off in the center, you stick a button, a couple of embellishments, put on your sentiment, put on the front of your card. Voila, another way to use your ribbon. Alright, this is technique number 5, using your ribbon to do some weaving. Look at that. The ribbon I'm going to use on this one is EA09, and it's kind of a satiny silk kind of a ribbon. And what I've done is use the Fisker's punch, that's actually called the weave, and I took the end of my ribbon and I put some tape around it and cut it at a point. That was my husband's idea. It makes it easier to weave, and you just weave it back and forth. And these are perfectly cut in there. I guess, you know, somebody went to all the trouble to figure that out. Now and then you're just going to tape it behind, and then just bring in another piece of your ribbon made into a bow using your Bow Easy, and you can add a bow, just like I did on that card. Now, wasn't that easy? Here is another way you can use your ribbon. I made that awesome flower for the center of my card. Let me show you how easy that was done. Again, I'm going to use my circles called the gloobers, and I'm going to be using the rolled burlap that they have. This string, isn't this awesome? I also have a green that I used back here on the kind of my leaves. And then we're going to use this ribbon. It's DE17, and it's a 5/8 of an inch ribbon. So let me show you how easy this goes together. I just love making flowers, and they are so popular. Now, the way I do it might be a little bit different than everybody else. I always tie a little knot in the center to give myself something to hold on to, and I end up covering it up, as you see, with a button. So I'm going to start in the center, and then I'm just going to start rolling. There you are. There, that part is finished. Then when I get ready to add my green, all I would do is go ahead and peel off of the back, because it's, again, sticky back there. So you can do that. Let's find the end of my green. And I just made loops and twisted them a little bit and started putting them behind there. Get back inside the camera there we can see. What's really nice about these little gloobers, when I'm done, I can just leave the plastic on the back and just wait until I'm ready to put it on the front of my card. Add yourself a button, and voila, you have yourself a ribbon flower. Alright, the final technique for this particular video is using your ribbon for home decor and scrapbooking. Ribbon's just not for tying bows on your cards and tying bows in your hair. You can use it for decor in your house and in scrapbooking. This is a charger plate. You can get those at any hobby store. What I've done is I've taken some of that very strong adhesive, some people call it orange line tape, and I went all the way around the circle of my plate. On my Cricut machine, which is a die cutting machine, I cut out my 2 little layers here, added my picture, and I'm going to finish up by adding some bling. I'm going to be using this ribbon, and it's AW03. It's a wired ribbon, so it'll give me a really nice pleat here, as you can tell right there. Now, what I didn't take all of the covering off of the tape to begin with because I knew I'd get messed up. So I just take off 3 or 4 at a time, and I start pleating my ribbon. So let me do that for you. Now, I've got it all the way around. I'm simply going to take what I've got left in my ribbon here, and I'm going to try and make myself a bow without using my bow easy. Let's see how well I can do that. And I'll just use some more of that orange line tape to connect this on there. Get this nice and tight, that knot. There we go. Because I want the wire. I love that the wire can give me that look, the crinkle look. There you go. And I'm going to add my bow right there. I'll finish putting my pearls around there, and there is home decor with ribbon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. My purpose was to show you all the many ways that you can use ribbon and how wonderful MayArt ribbon is. I hope you'll stop back and watch more. Have a great day. Bye!